Right, I'm at the Frontenac Park parking lot at the Arab Lake. I'm going to be heading out for 2 nights. It's a Friday morning in May, and I'm going to be doing about 24 kilometers up to my campsite at Lynch Lake. I have an alternative. It's 20 kilometers, about an hour less. We're going to make that decision about 4 kilometers in. I'm going to figure out where I need to go from here. I need to go south, and then I'm going over to Doe Lake, and that's where I'll make a decision whether or not I'm going to do the larger loop up the east side of Slide Lake loop or the west side. The west side will be the 24 and the east side will be the 20k loop. So we'll see how it goes. Hitting the trail about 45 minutes later than I thought I was going to. In my rush to get going, I went up the wrong trail up towards Salmon Lake, and anyway, it was just a big flurry of activity to try to get organized at the car and get going. So we are moving now. Trails are really nice so far. Beautiful morning. It's probably, I don't know, 7 degrees or so Celsius, and looking forward to this. It's a bit of a story for this 24k excursion here. I went backpack camping for the first time with my son about September of 2021 last year, and we're up at Algonquin Western Uplands, and those are pretty technical, rough trails. And our first time out, you know, we thought we kind of knew what we were doing, but we didn't do enough research. So typical newbie mistake, we had way too much weight on our packs. I think I was carrying about 45 pounds. Way too much stuff, way too much everything. Anyway, after the second night, we had a third night booked for halfway back, and we decided just to book it all the way back. My son wanted to get back to work the next day rather than taking another day off work. And so it ended up being a 9-hour day with close to 45 pounds still on our back, because it wasn't all just food. We were carrying too much water and everything. And it was a 9-hour day for 25 kilometers, and it just killed me. So this time around, I've cut my pack weight down tremendously. So I went from, you know, I'm probably about 20 pounds today, 21. So I've cut it way down with a lighter pack, and quilt instead of a sleeping bag, and a couple other things. Got rid of a bunch of miscellaneous things that I don't really need. I'll talk about some of that more of that stuff later, but beautiful morning here. So I did a few more trips solo after that trip with my son, both to Eastern Pines and Algonquin Park. Beautiful spot. My pack got lighter as those went on, but I was still carrying around for the solo trips a 7.5 pound tent. So this year I'm packing out a Lanchan 1 Pro single person tent that weighs, with the pegs, about 1.9 pounds, and uses a single trekking pole. Much smaller living space, but man, I'm knocking off 5.5 pounds just with that. So the landscape here is, you know, it is springtime compared to, it was fall in Algonquin. Algonquin is obviously further north, but the grass and so on in the areas around the trees here, I don't recall anywhere around Algonquin where it quite looked like this. It's more fern, more pine trees. There's much more deciduous trees here. Nice, very nice, and the trails are so far quite easy. Not a lot of roots and rocks so far. I'm sure that's going to change. But yeah, so far so good. Really enjoying it. Don't know what kind of time we're making. It adds a little bit of time when you're trying to capture on video some of these moments. But I think it's going to be worth it to be able to look back after and share it with my family and friends. Of course, not 5 minutes later, it turns into more of your classic Canadian Shield type environment. Just beautiful. Look at the moss formations on those logs. It's beautiful. It's like a really old beaver dam here, really old. It's all grown over like a berm. Nice little island. And our trail goes up there. So, not sure if you're gonna be able to see that or not. Somehow I ended up going up the east side of the big slide loop. So I'm bushwhacking across here to get back over to the west side. I was just thinking how good the signage has been around here. And somehow I missed it. So, bit of an adventure, but you know, it's not bad bushwhacking up here. Bit of a grassy knoll area. Nice little peak. So, not regretting it because I'm going exploring a little bit. Thankfully, I've got the GPS to help me out though. So, back to the trail we go. So back on trail, it literally was about 2 or 3 minutes to cut across there at the narrowest point. So that worked out really well. So obviously, I've decided to do the 24K loop. I just noticed my shoes look untied. So I need to fix that. Feeling really good. And even with the stopping to do recording and so on, I'm still managing about 4.2 kilometers an hour, which is really good. So I'm going to be there a very reasonable hour at the campsite. Now, one of the criticisms of Frontenac Park, in terms of, you know, really getting away from civilization, is that the campsites are grouped together in pods of 3 or 4 sites. And I don't know what that's going to look like. I didn't stop back there at the Doe Lake site to take a peek. So, you know, if you have a scale of wanting to be by yourself and look at the scale between hiking and camping, more time on the trail versus in the campsite, this is probably a park if you want to be by yourself where you lean more towards the hiking side of the continuum. Anyway, the trails are really well groomed, moderate, easy to find your way around. Like I said, I don't know how I missed the sign at that junction. And the hills aren't too bad so far. Going up one right now, but nothing like the working up the west side of the Western Uplands, that's for sure. And short little punchy climbs, not really scrambles, but so far it's been really good. Anyway, so it's going well. Haven't seen much wildlife here yet. Apparently there's not a lot of bears here, but I've got my bear spray anyway. And I find that I'm not even trying to make any noise, even if I'm going upwind. Probably should be. I'm always wary of that. It's a good little scramble. Might have to put you down. Let's see what happens. Yeah, apparently there's not a big black bear problem here, but better safe than sorry. Alright, so I'm going to take a break up here and have a snack, then keep going. Ciao for now. Definitely a lot of black flies already, or little mosquitoes or something. I've got some spray on, so they're not really landing on me, but they're buzzing around. I do have a bug net if it gets really bad later. There's a nice breeze, so it could get worse. One of the things I'm noticing with this back, this is an Osprey 58 liter Exhaust 58. Is I kept feeling my back feels really cool, like I almost have like an ice pack in my backpack against my back. And what it actually is this air ventilation system here. This mesh keeps the back suspended away from your back a couple inches, so air flows in there, and it actually has a cooling effect. So instead of a real sweaty back like I have with my old backpack, it feels nice and cool and refreshing. Really comfortable so far. Shoulders feel great, so it's made a big difference. Another thing that's made a big difference is I've gone from hiking boots to hiking shoes. These are just some Saucony, what do they call them, excursion TR15s. They've made a big difference. They're so much lighter than the hiking boots I was using last year, and they're not waterproof, but they dry really fast. Like, I've gone ankle deep a couple of times already by accident with this foot, and the foot doesn't feel wet at all. I'm wearing some darn tough socks and super comfortable. Traction's been good so far, so that's made a big difference. I think that's why I'm having such a comfortable hike here today. And I think I'm going to be hurting later for sure. You know, getting down to probably 15k plus. I'm probably going to start hurting kind of like the last 12k of the marathon, but that's okay. I always look back at those with enjoyment afterwards. I just got a helicopter going by. Anyway, bye for now. Cheers. So, you're not going to believe this. I'm back on the east side going south back to the Doe Lake area, because somewhere along the way, oh brother, somewhere along the way I lost my hat. And I've had that hat for a long time. I wore that hat camping that first time with my son in September, so it has some sentimental value to me. And you know what, with this bald head, kind of need it when I'm in the sunny areas, because it's not all tree cover here. So I'm backtracking. I just met two northbound hikers that are coming up from Doe, and they don't recall seeing it. So it's possible it's on the other side of the Doe Lake campground turnoff. I looked at some previous videos and I had it at the lookout, and it might well be there that I dropped it. So another lesson learned: don't think your hat is hanging in a good spot, nice and secure, because it could still fly off. Buckle everything down. Always learning. So here we go. This is a beautiful day, and I'm not regretting it. It's probably going to add half an hour to my day, but silly. So I had no luck finding the hat. I actually backtracked all the way to that lookout past the Doe Lake parking or campgrounds, and there was nowhere to be found. I don't know, I wasted an hour looking for it, but it was worth it, you know. Leave no trace. I did my best. Hopefully somebody will find it someday, and maybe I'll find it in Lost and Found in a trip later out here. So my day got extended by about an hour. Still having a good time though. So I just need to start plugging away and getting some mileage in here. Talk soon. Something I didn't expect was these wide open areas in the sun. I don't think I brought enough sunscreen, especially for not having a hat on. But yeah, lots of wide open areas. I think I was reading on the map that there's been a number of fires, and of course there's a lot of clearing and lumbering and so on here too, but because of all the activities here, there's been erosion of soil, so there's a lot of exposed rock. So I guess that's why you get all these clearings like this. So probably should have expected it, but makes for some nice views rather than just being surrounded by trees all the time. I'm struggling for the lookout between the trees when you do approach a lake, so it's quite nice. So I'm at a gorge. I can't remember what it's called. I have to look at the map and I'll put it on the screen, I guess. I just stopped for some lunch and I was just destroyed by all these little black flies and little mini mosquitoes. And not sure what they all were, but then it occurred to me, I got a bug net, but how am I going to wear a bug net without a brimmed hat? It's just going to be falling on my face, so I have to see how that works out. Anyway, have some energy. I guess it's about 1:45. I'm about a third of the way to the campsite, I guess, approximately. So I'm doing all right. I got lots of time. So we'll check in a little bit. I was just coming around a big rock, kind of like this guy here, and I decided to do my first "Hey bear," and as soon as I said that, a whole bunch of running footsteps off around the corner, like heavy sounding. So it's like, no way. So I peek around the corner and it's just two big adult deer running away from me that, you know, if I didn't do that when I came around the corner, they probably would have been about 10 feet away from me. So I kind of regret doing it at that time. Anyway, that was a little bit of a thrill. Standing here enjoying this view, looking around, enjoying the peace and quiet. Just had a Snickers bar, just stopped at a stream and filtered a liter of water and drank that, and filtered another liter and put it in a bottle. And I looked over here, and I don't know if you can be able to see it or not. Way down there, there's a bridge. And I'm saying that's way down there. It's probably not working on the camera to let you know how far down that is, but I have a feeling that we're going to go over there. And to go there, we've got a big drop. Oh, we'll see how it goes. Well, that wasn't too bad. Series of moderately technical S-turns through a bunch of rocks, a couple little cliff faces, and eventually we got down and we were up there somewhere. On we go. You didn't think I was going to keep going until you couldn't see me at all, did you? So, I haven't mentioned, but I'm wearing a 2-week Holter monitor for my heart. And I noticed about 2 hours ago that one of the leads had come off. So, sorry, Dr. Cardiologist, but I'm sure he's getting lots of good data here. No problems at all. I feel fantastic. I've been monitoring my heartbeat, and I get up in the 140s on the punchy climbs sometimes. But otherwise, I'm hovering around 120, 115, which isn't too bad. I keep hearing a sound up here, like a big wash of, almost like ocean waves. I don't know if you can hear that or not. Now I do see a little mini waterfall up there, but it seems to get really loud every once in a while, so we'll have to see what that is. Certainly a beautiful ridge up here. That's why I had to film it back there. It's almost like a cow trail, just going along, looking down at the lake. Just beautiful. So we have 3 waterfalls here. Little one over there. This little guy here. Kind of just continues down, little rapids. And then another large one over top there with a bridge. But there's no bridge here. And this is where I need to cross. So, looks like my feet are getting wet. So, at that last one I was able to go down a little bit and find some rocks to go across. This is the second, I guess the third of the waterfalls that I pointed out, a little bit larger. It must have been what I was hearing as I was hiking down the ridge up there. So this is past my turnoff. It goes to some other campsites and areas. So it's definitely a lot more scrambly since we turned off from the section that was part of the Burrito Trail system. It's some pretty steep, punchy little climbs like this one. Scramble things, and you have to watch your footing a lot more in general. Very nice trails. None of the climbs are really that long that wear you out too much, so you recover very quickly after each of them. Up we go. Not sure what kind of bugs they have around here, but there was a little black bug that bit me. It caused that much blood. Can't believe it. Didn't hurt or anything, but such an amazing variety of terrain on this trail. I've seen a bit of everything on this one except for desert. It's just beautiful. So look at this little section here. You know, it's typical Canadian shield, lots of pine needles, water on both sides here. It's a beautiful spot. The trail goes scrambling up the right side of this little stream. Came down quite a hill to get to it. Just wanted to show you this tree here. Somehow it's growing horizontally and it's still up there. There's no breaks in the roots, there's nothing showing that it's kind of tilted. So it looks like it's just grown like that. Good little natural bridge. This whole park is filled with these multi-layer bodies of water from beaver dams. I don't know if that's going to show up in the camera, but that's a good 50 feet up from the one below it. And they're all over the place. There was one time further back where I mentioned there was water on both sides. One was about 30-40 feet below the one on the opposite side. So beaver dams definitely have had a huge influence on the terrain around here. As soon as I turned around from that last clip, talking about the different levels of bodies of water here, I had a beaver dam right behind me here, and we gotta cross this one. Trail continues on the other side. Wish me luck. I'm not gonna film it. Gotta get to my campsite. So I just turned off of the big slide loop and turned right onto the big Salmon Lake loop. So I look at my map to see how much mileage is left before I get to my campsite, but you know what, it's not going to get me there any quicker, so it's going to keep plugging away. One of the challenges today, I don't know if I brought enough bug spray, and I'm finding every time I stop I'm just getting swarmed, and I'm concerned that I'm going to run out of spray and be regretting that later tomorrow. So it's keeping me from stopping and getting the backpack off. I've only actually taken the pack off a couple of times, once for that first break and then to fill up water for a couple of minutes. So I haven't had a lot of breaks except for stopping here and there just to grab a snack out of my pockets on my bag and or to catch my breath at the top of a hill. So, not complaining. Actually, my back feels incredible. My shoulders feel incredible. This pack is just so comfortable and a lighter load, and these shoes are making a huge difference. And so, just a little fatigue, and of course my legs are sore. It has been a long day so far, and no hot spots on my feet so far. So far so good. Keep it going, and we'll be there at some point. It's about 4:15. So this loop until now has been mostly crushed leaves, not too technical. Much more pleasant. You don't have to watch your footing every step, but there is some difficult spots here. So here's an example. Look at this cliff face here. Just amazing. Nice and clear. First stream I did was very, very yellow. Second one was a little bit better, but this is the clear so far. getting water here because I don't know what I'm going to have at the campsite or between here and the campsite. And this is so nice and clear, I don't mind carrying just a couple of pounds. Salmon just jumped beside me or what? Something just did something. I think it'll be salmon. Well, this is a bit of a blessing. Just came across some road, so I don't have to worry about my footing so much for the next little while before I cut off over to towards my campsite. I have no idea how much longer I have. Maybe an hour. Anyway, it's all good. Still doing great. Tired, my legs are tired. It's just so beautiful out here. It really is. I think that hat episode wore me out a little bit more than it should have. Adding that hour and however many kilometers that was. I'm gonna have to do the math later. This might turn into a 26, 27 kilometer day. I'm not sure because of the way I cut the corner up the east side of that Slide Lake loop there. So I'll have to figure that out later. But in any event, it's a long hike. The trails are much easier for this part, but definitely my pace was quite slow during all that technical part on Slide Lake. Lots of little, you had to watch every footstep in multiple sections, which isn't a bad thing, but in terms of calculating your total day's pace, definitely need to knock some down there. Just came across a porcupine. Hey fella, how are ya? So literally, right beside the porcupine is this old pioneer foundation. Amazing. Wow. Cool. Can you imagine living out here? Here's what's left of the old cattle barn. It's quite far from the house, actually. I have no idea. And how did this get up here? Clearly this road was passable by car at some point, so maybe that culvert back there was an actual larger bridge, who knows. Beaver activity might have changed the flows of the water there. It might have been a lot bigger crossing. Who knows? I mean, come on. Ignore the bugs. I am. You can see the loons. Got the Lanshan 1 Pro set up. Not a perfect pitch, but good enough. Here's my home for the night. The quilt set up. And we'll see how that goes tonight. It's supposed to go down to 5 degrees tonight, and this is rated to lower comfort limit of 5. Extreme is like 0 or something Celsius. I have an insurance policy. I've got a reactor liner there, just a regular one, and of course my puffy and everything else. So I'm going to be sleeping just with a 200 weight merino long sleeve shirt and pants to start, and we'll see what happens after that. So I'm at the campsite, as you saw already, and it's cooling off fast. Got the buff on, puffy. Trying to not lose all that heat that I gained with all the long hiking today. So it's quite a wind. Nice sight. I've got there's a dam right beside me here, and the water's flowing nice, and it looks like it's pretty clear water. It's literally like 40 feet from my campsite. And there's an outhouse up there. The other campsites are actually really close together here. There's a pad about 40 feet from me, but there's nobody there yet. And then I can see fire coming over a little knoll there from the other campsite. So I'm just getting ready to cook some dinner here. Creamy beef noodle mushrooms. Got this from Christmas from the kids, I think. From Ivy maybe? I can't remember. Anyway, that's what's going to be tonight. So I'm going to boil up the water. So today was a blur. Today was a real blur. An amazing blur. I'm so happy that I vlogged or videoed so much of it, because I'm not going to remember. And I'm going to need to watch that to get my memory jogged, because it was just so much incredible scenery and so many different ecosystems and environments. It was a lot to take in, and I think because I was, trying to get all the mileage in, I didn't stop and smell the roses as much as I normally would for the shorter hike. But there was so much to see. I would do that again for sure. Highly recommended, and man, it's amazing. Just need to reflect on it and process it. Anyway, I don't think I'm going to do any more videos today. I'm going to cook my dinner and eat and just relax, maybe listen to some music, and get a good sleep. And probably I'm going to make this into a 2-part video. I think this is going to be kind of long, so this will be the day 1 video. So we'll see you in the morning on part 2. Cheers.